I'm Jen Goodlin, Rebuild Paradise Foundation. We are a small nonprofit that was started after the campfire, and we love to be innovative and address hurdles as our community faces them. And last month, I had the incredible privilege of meeting some new friends, Alex and Chris. And have you guys ever been not known someone at all, and you walk into a room and there's just already an unspoken language? I feel like that's what this whole room is, but especially with this kind of nuanced idea of a master floor plan library, I walked into a room of somebody who was already my friend. So I'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
Yeah, thanks, Jen. I'm Alex Athenson. I'm a licensed architect based in Pasadena, California, and co-founder and executive director of the Foothill Catalog Foundation. And the Foothill Catalog Foundation is a nonprofit organization that's uh, aimed at developing a collection or a catalog of pre-approved home designs to allow displaced residents, fire survivors, to rebuild expeditiously, resiliently, and affordably, with a specific emphasis on retaining the identity and the heritage that's also really important in this rebuild effort, specifically in Altadena. So, um, I was evacuated from my home with my wife. We were both architects, and so this is while our home survived, these are our friends and our neighbors that we're looking to help. It's an incredible privilege to be here, to meet everyone here, and really connect with everyone else who is making such incredible strides to help the places we love, and we're looking to be a small part of it.
Good morning. My name is Chris Corbett. If you're counting, I'm the second man bun on the stage today, so you can punch your card, you know, although I don't have it up there. Um, Sorry, I don't know what energy to bring to these things. I'm either laughing or crying, so I'm going to go with laughing today. uh, but my name's Chris Corbett. I'm from the Altadena Collective. I'm part of this larger response from that Altadena and LA community that just want to help. So it's gotten very confusing, and oftentimes I'm confused with the Foothill catalog, and they're confused with me. But what we're doing is we're a group of architects that were directly impacted by the fire, that were ethically aligned and I think the kids today say that it's what do the kids say? I don't know what the kids say today. Um, but we had a call of duty to help out, and I think that's just what we wanted to do. We found that as an architect, we typically just kind of work with the client designing a home, and they're there for it. And we found ourselves talking to a lot of people that didn't know how to read their insurance and didn't know they weren't planning on any sort of architectural masterpiece in their future. So we decided that we wanted to readdress the way that architects help out when they're working with the clients and really shape it around the mind and the kind of psychology of what people are going through at that time, to help them go through a very difficult time in their life and try to make it as enjoyable as possible. And we loved Altadena, and we want to bring it back in the character and make it as an enjoyable process as possible. I told you I was going to ramble backstage.
You did great. You did
Okay,
great.
thanks.
All right. So this is Rebuild Paradise Foundation. We're small but mighty, my wonderful staff and board. And I'm going to ask you all a question. Before you ever went through a fire, how many of you custom designed a home? Okay, not very many. It is less than 1% of the world will ever design their own home. It's actually a privilege in many ways, but it's a significant mental hurdle, especially after a tragedy. So, how do you intercept this hurdle in not just the mental, but the financial aspect and even the time aspect, right? So, I'm fortunate that I had a wonderful person in front of me, Charles Brooks, who came up with this extraordinary idea that we call the Master Floor Plan Library. So what it is 9 to 14 plans, and they are small, 750 to about 1,800 square feet. And this is designed to meet the needs of our community specifically. It's reflective of who we are, and they are 1 to 4 bedroom. So we have the wonderful septic hurdle in our community, so we have to do our plans dictated by septic tanks. Um, what it is pre-approved plans through the town of Paradise and the county. So a person wants to build a home on their lot, they no longer have to go through months and months of design, lots of time, lots of headache. The plans are ready to go. Um, and here are some of the homes that were designed in our community. We estimate that it has saved homeowners at least $8,000, 6 months of time, and the homes are also designed to be very affordable. Also within that WUI compliant, the Chapter 7A that we all need. Um, we worked with designers locally and some that were further away, and we actually partnered with a local university. So it was pretty cool. We got to involve students in this process. It was a lot of creativity. So the cool part for us is that we've seen it come to fruition. So these are what some of the homes look like completed or under construction. They are strewn throughout our community. It does not look like we have replicated houses at all whatsoever, because you can add your own unique differences, with paint color, where you have the garage. You can do raised or slab foundations. So to date, we've had 320 permits from this program and over 200 homes built to construction. That is a huge feat in a recovery that is massive. I want you to know over 200 homes that saved $8,000. Um, it's really just like a beautiful story of what is possible with really creative ideas. And now, because we started this many, many years ago at Rebuild Paradise, our hope slash not hope is to be able to help another community not have to go through scratch, starting it over. So, Rebuild Paradise Foundation is not architects. We are dental hygienists. We had different jobs. We are not the professional. And thankfully, now we have a group of people who are the professional. And our hope is that someone would do it better than us. And so now you get to hear the better than us.
I think that's pretty good for
Yeah,
you.
thanks. Yeah. 200 homes is incredible. So thanks, Jen. Yeah, I think a lot of what you mentioned of what we're trying to channel, that same spirit and that same efficiency is what we're looking to tie in through another nonprofit organization. And I think it's important to really be channeled and tapped into the local needs of the community, just as your organization is, and now as we're doing for Altadena. The Foothill Catalog Foundation was founded by my wife and I, who are two licensed architects, and then a few other architects and colleagues. We incorporated as a nonprofit organization on January 15th, so 7 days after, while the fires were still burning in both Eaton Fire and Palisades Fire, and um, we knew, I think, as architects, but more importantly, as community members, these inherent gaps that would be present for both the people and the place in order for them to recover. And you'll hear me say that a lot, is the people and the place. And that's really who we're trying to retain, is we're trying to retain as many diverse homeowners, diverse people who make up a community as possible, from multi-generational households to elderly couples to new families, all of who are in different situations, from backgrounds, ethnicities, and resources. And that's reflected in the architecture and the character of the place. That's really important to prioritize and build back, so that that spirit and of the community can remain intact as well. So our mission is to develop, again, this catalog of pre-approved home designs, and again, make it as easy as possible for people to rebuild quickly, resiliently, but also to be able to afford to go through the process and make rebuilding feasible in every sense of the word. So, a lot of people in this room know kind of the scale of what we're looking at and the scale of the disaster in Altadena, and there are a lot of, again, gaps that need to be closed, and it's not only a financial gap, but it's a gap in accessibility or attainability of housing, and people not being able to navigate the process or have the time that it takes to go through a custom design, to go through a custom permitting process, and to go through a custom build. So while my wife and I were still sleeping on an air mattress in a friend's living room, as architects and again as community members, how do we help this diverse population of homeowners who are going to not know where to start or not know the first thing about building? And how do we take our background as architects to make the building process attainable in a way that's to make this process that is hard for even architects to navigate in permitting and building anything, especially in California. How do we make that more feasible for as many people as possible? And again, focusing on the two core tenets of our mission is to retain the people and keep as many people optimistic that they can stay in their communities, that they can go through this process to stay in their hometown, not only cut the time span that it takes to rebuild, save money in terms of soft costs and hard costs by injecting as much predictability into the process as possible, minimizing the knowledge that it takes to hire an architect, hire a team of engineers, go through a custom permitting process, go through a plan check process, go through the bidding process, find a contractor. How do we make that easy for people who look at the process at A and see Z maybe beyond the horizon and don't know if they're going to be able to make it there? And then representative of this diversity of people that we're trying to help, the diversity of place. Altadena is a very diverse historic community that is made up of so many different eclectic mix of architectural styles and typologies. And when people ask me what is the character of Altadena, how would you describe it? The character is diversity. It is this eclecticism that ranges not only from your California bungalow and your craftsman styles, your Spanish revival, your Tudor French revival, all the way to your post-war California ranch, your mid-century modern. You have all these other styles that make up the the character that is Altadena, and that's reflected by the diversity of people that have called this place home for many generations. So that's
Can I ask you something
yeah, yeah,
quick?
yeah. Jump in, jump in.
Um, how how close are you to the fire? How close was your home?
So, yeah, my wife and I, we were a block away from the burn area. So we evacuated Tuesday night on January 7th. And like so many other people who we've talked to, shared the similar experience of waking up Wednesday morning and turning on the news and seeing how quickly the fire had spread through our hometown. Um, and as it crept closer and closer to our home, we were watching the news coverage go back between Palisades, between Silmar, between Altadena, all these fires that were burning all over the town. And on one of these cutbacks, it cut to Altadena with a reporter standing on Montana Street, on our street, with homes burning behind her. Um, so at that point, we had to turn the TV off. I mean, we didn't need to see our neighborhood burn down on live television. And it's something that I don't know, a feeling that I'll never forget. And by learning that our home somehow survived, we were so incredibly fortunate. But seeing the devastation of the rest of the community, it was something that was incredibly close to our hearts and something that we knew we needed to figure out a way as architects to not just help the people that could afford to go through this process, but the community at large, the thousands of homeowners who will not know where to start, and provide a mechanism for them to start the process and to get back home.
Yeah, I think one reason you both are so good is you live there and you understand. If I were to go to Altadena and try to do this program, I wouldn't know what to do because I don't know the heart and spirit of the community. But they live there and they know and they want to bring that essence and also their expertise, right? Like that's the beautiful part. So wherever you are, it's so important that you are there. You're the boots on the ground because nobody else could bring that same idea like the person living there.
Right. And so, yeah, our model was actually based off of what built a lot of these neighborhoods before, which is the Sears Catalog program. And kind of this is what really built the American dream all over the country. And it was a way for working class, normal people to access quality, affordable housing to build equity on their lots. Not only in the Midwest, on the East Coast, but in Southern California in these neighborhoods. And this is the type of fabric that we're trying to recreate. So, what we did immediately was reach out to the whole design community and asked for submissions of design ideas that were reflective of the place. And so we got so much uh, goodwill and sentiment from designers, architects, to develop this initial catalog. And our goal is to develop a catalog of 50 pre-approved home designs for Altadena. And we've come out with our first 18, of which I can scroll through a few of them right here. But um, these are, again, similar, Jen, to your program of creating modest, affordable housing for people that need it, but that is reflective of the spirit of the place. So ranging all the way from 800 square feet all the way up to 2,000 square feet in a variety of different sizes and typologies and styles that are reflective of not only the data of what was lost, but what the needs are and what we're hearing from community members every day of what they lost and what they're looking for in a rebuild solution. So we can come back to these. I'll scroll through them quickly. But
Wait, can you go back to one really quick?
oh,
Oh,
just go back. Yeah, there we go.
so I gotta look at this before, and all I could think was, "Oh my gosh, theirs is so much better," and good job. Like, I love that. It should be, right? It's like, look at, they're so beautiful. Okay, sorry, keep going.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a start. It's again, I before the fire, I was just an architect working as in doing what an architect does and working on multifamily projects, urban design. And so this was something that by the end of January, I had quit my full-time job and launched full time into this. So it's something I'm incredibly passionate about, and we're just now really starting. We're on the precipice of seeing a lot of results, and um, I think the Wood family who are helping, are pictured here, um, they are going to be the first build that Habitat for Humanity is actually building one of our homes with. Um, and I just spoke with Habitat for Humanity, their team, yesterday, and they're looking to pull the building permit this week. So incredibly exciting. And they're going to be building the Lewis design, which is a 1,260 square foot craftsman home, 3-bed, 2-bath. Um, and it's incredibly exciting to help Carol and Ken, who are 83 and 85 years old, who have lived in this community in Altadena for over 50 years, who have a son and a daughter who live with them and right down the street, and who have 2 young grandchildren, who are helping, again, this multi-generational family who, without the Foothill Catalog, without Habitat for Humanity, probably wouldn't have any other resource to stay. So I'll conclude it at that. I might have rambled a little bit, but I'll turn it over to Chris. So thank you guys very much.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. So ditto on a lot of that. There's a lot of overlap that's gonna you'll see it. Our approach is slightly different. Let's see. So I lived about 4 miles away from Altadena. I was evacuated, but ultimately didn't lose my house. It was something that was on my mind quite a bit because I lost fire insurance on my home in November and had to pick up the California Fair Plan, and currently have that right now. But I found a couple ways to get out of it, so I'm really excited. That I'll get into. But essentially, what made Altadena unique is it had this kind of beautiful history of development and beautiful setting with these majestic mountains in the background, and every time the Rose Bowl's on the TV in January, you can see them at sunset out in the background, and they light up into this beautiful color, and that's really kind of defines the place of Altadena as this kind of direct access to nature, and that was the first draw for a lot of people in the area. Was they were coming because back in the day they thought you needed fresh air to solve all your problems, so they'd come up into the mountains, and it developed as a kind of a wellness center for the area. And you can see the rough outline in the map above me of what Altadena was. And on January 7th, we all know what happened, and a lot of people's lives changed. and it destroyed over 4,500 homes, 1,700 multifamily kind of units, and everything was ruined. And uh, even though I didn't lose my home, I knew a lot of people that lived in the area. And on January 7th, I immediately became an ally in the that was the word I was looking for earlier, ally. I became an ally. That's what the kids say, ally. I'm glad I thought of that. Uh, so some friends got together. I started volunteering for my daughter's teacher who lost his home, and ended up on a Zoom call with a group of people in an area called the Janes Village. And it's a small area. If I had a laser pointer, I'd point up to the kind of the northwest corner there. But there were several homes in that area under a similar style, and they were getting together to talk about uh, how to rebuild. Um, and I joined that call, and I met another architect, and we started talking, and we said, "Hey, if we do this right, we can get together and we can share our skills and our passion, and we can help people through this process." So we came together and we formed the Altadena Collective, and there are a lot of collectives and collaborations and catalogs, and so everyone gets us confused with everyone else. But essentially, we've been working with several clients rebuilding their homes in Altadena styles. And through the process, we began to understand that as architects, we weren't equipped with the skills necessary completely to help everyone in the community. So we started adapting and rethinking the way that as architects, how we approach working with clients. So what we outlined was very similar to Alex, is that we wanted to bring back the character of Altadena. We wanted to make sure that those homes were fire resistant, that we were going to find every opportunity to reduce the costs through collective purchasing and bargaining. Uh, Very highly detailed guidance of being able to understand where somebody was in the process and be able to give them the information that they need at that specific time, rather than overwhelming them with too many choices or throwing too much at them because they were already suffering from decision fatigue. uh, Coordination through contacting contractors ahead of time in advance while people are still in the design, and when they're still trying to choose their designer, actually go out and vet contractors that can do this type of work, that will fit well with the community, that have a good reputation in the community. And then finally ensure that the things that we're designing and the things that we're talking about, like the quality of it, are insured in the rebuild. So we put together a what we call a performance-based specification that outlines everything in detail format, so that we have something to give to the client, which normally isn't done in a residential rebuild environment. That they can hold the contractors to the feet, hold their feet to the fire. Sorry, bad analogy. I knew I was going to do that. Um, and making sure that they'll build to a certain standard. So the Janes cottages were built. They were about to celebrate their 100th year anniversary. They were getting together to throw a block party in May. And there's about 260 odd homes in the Janes cottage style. And they were called the Janes cottages because of this developer, EP Janes, who was kind of a charlatan, not really a developer, came in with this big idea and started building and selling homes. Was eventually ran out of town because he didn't really fulfill a lot of the promises that he had promised. And
Chris, did any of those homes survive the fire? Any of the
s-
Jane's cottage?
yes, so about two-thirds were lost. So still about 100 remain. And essentially, what we did was we wanted to bring those homes back and be authentic and true to what they were. So we went and we started measuring the ones that hadn't burned down, and we soon understand as a development there were a limited amount of plans. So we found that there were about 6 or 7 floor plans, and we drew those up and started offering those back to the community, so that people that had lost their Janes could come in and say, "Oh, that was my home. It looked a little different. This was like this and that was like that." And we'd work with them with these kind of preset plans and adapt them to what their needs were, because, everyone's coming in with, well, you have a 100-year-old home that has been changed and added onto, and all kinds of things had happened. So everyone is kind of in a unique situation. And then we could add to those, and change them per the client. So each one gets kind of massaged a little bit and made back into, what we say is it's their home, but a little bit better. And then what we realize is that, just like Alex, that there are particular designs and styles that had developed in the Altadena area over time, where, as most cities evolve and go through development periods, then certain styles reflected the area, and we saw them to be, kind of the craftsman style, Spanish Revival, and mid-century modern. So we started putting together plans as well that reflected these. And so to date, we're in the ninth month since the fire. We've been working with 73 families and growing. We've submitted about 24 plans so far, and we started out originally with three architects. It was myself, Tim Vortreed, and another Chris Driscoll. We're all left-handed. It's kind of weird. And there's also two Chris's, so it gets a little confusing sometimes. But now we're up to a staff of 12. Over half of those were directly impacted by the fire and also felt compelled to help. And we brought them on as either designers or admin or, in other capacities. And then we've been going through a vetting process with several contractors, and we're going to take those contractors and hold a speed dating event later in the fall, where we're going to bring those contractors together with the community so that they can meet them and show them their designs, and hopefully coordinate them in a way where one contractor could be working on multiple homes in the area and therefore be more efficient and therefore lower costs back to the owner. And then we have a mailing list of over 1,000 people that we communicate with so that we can disseminate information, hopefully not misinformation, but good information about, just going through the permitting process, or, when you're building back and you want to build a fire resistant home, what standard should you build to? And then what we've done is we've kind of taken all this knowledge that's kind of flooded our brains over the last 9 months. And we've been working, Altadena Collective is kind of an umbrella, and we've been consolidating that information into a nonprofit. And what we want to do is make sure that everybody has construction and architectural knowledge and professionals helping them through the process as an owner's representative, which is somebody like a guide or a navigator that can help you and say, "Oh, this is what you need to do next in the rebuild process," and make sure we can provide that to everyone. So we've started a nonprofit called Collective OR, or Owners Reps, to help do that. And that's I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Oh, thank you. All right. I'm going to stop rambling now. We got about 11 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to ask a few questions. For either of your plans, are you able to change if someone comes in, are they able to make changes to the plans?
So that's kind of the difference in how we're kind of working together, right? So for us as a nonprofit with limited staff, we are developing these plans completely, on our own internally, piecing together all of the ideas from the design community, taking them through all the phases of the design, working with structural engineers, energy consultants to have a fully uh, documented set of plans, minus the site plan that can be pre-approved by LA County, so that when a homeowner comes in, it's as turnkey as possible, that the only submittal back to the county to build that home is a single page submittal, which is a site plan. So what we're offering is non-custom solutions.
So no moving windows
Right.
or
It's
nothing like that, right?
yeah, right. You're sacrificing customization, but I think, Jen, as you said, so many of us, well, 99% of us didn't build our home, right? And I think by providing enough optionality, by something that will fit your lot, something that will fit your budget, and something that will fit your vision of the rebuild, many people are really excited about building with a catalog home, even if it is a non-custom home.
I call it throwing it out of master. So if someone comes to me and says, "Well, I need this window over here or this," I'm like, it throws it out of master plan and we defeated the whole purpose, right? Of the cost savings, of the time savings, all of it. So I really try to, this is what you get. You can move the door to the other side. But yeah, a master plan, you can't make big changes with it. I think yours is different though, right, Chris?
Yes, that's the major difference is that we're okay. You can change it, but what we try to do to keep the prices as low as possible is we treat the home more as a kit of parts. So, for example, there's 3 arched windows up on the second floor here. If we design a lot of homes with that arched window, that custom arch window, the price of it goes down. So we're trying to treat the pieces and the materials as kind of a larger scale development so that we're buying multiples of them and we're providing resources so our contractors can then go back and say, okay, you've in your drawings, you've standardized your windows. Where can I buy those windows? And we're creating agreements with Marvin and other companies to help purchase those at a lower cost.
Awesome. And one thing I love is you're both really how important the character is of the homes. But I also, and we have this too, we've named the homes. So tell me a little bit about that. I think that might be a little bit of the enjoyable process, but where are the names stemming from?
So a lot of the names of what our homes came from are from the local place that they're based. So our first home that was pre-approved, it was the first home pre-approved in LA County history. It was a new program that we worked hand in hand in with LA County from February on to develop this innovative process that didn't exist before to pre-approve plans uh, for this fire rebuild to get them as far as possible down the process. So that was a great part of LA County really stepping up and coming to the table to figure out innovative ways and solutions to help people and to make the catalog mechanism uh, most successful. And so our model, the Sears catalog, if you ever flip through an old Sears uh, uh, catalog, you'll find a lot of these creative names and these sometimes funky designs, but there are all these different options that sometimes you'll even see homes that look very familiar. And it's been awesome when someone comes up to us at a community event and it's like, "Hey, my home was in the Sears catalog. It was called the Crescent," and it's like, pull it up. I was like, "This is it." And so that's sort of the excitement that we can come out of like creating this catalog that people can be proud of choosing this non-custom solution that's now attainable for them. And going back to the names too, the first, if we can go back to the Lewis is the first one. So the Lewis was actually designed after a home on Lewis Avenue of one of our family friends who uh, her parents had lived there for 40 years and their home was completely gone. And so we based the Lewis on their family home. And it's a home that people recognize as being inherently of the place. And so La Solana, La Mariposa, the Palm, a lot of these are named after actually street names in Altadena and giving that local character not only to the physical architecture of the home, but even the name and kind of the spirit of it as well.
Well, I'm biased to the elderflower because I like flowers.
That's a
So
popular one. Yeah. Yeah.
what about you, Chris?
We initially started calling them A, B, C, D, E, and F, and that quickly got old. So I'm gonna scroll through here, and we took a similar approach, and we started naming them after the place, and specifically different people within the history of the place. So we got the Alta and the Dina, and the Butler after a science fiction writer Octavia Butler. The Cobb, there's the Cobb Estate in Altadena, and then the Elijah after Mr. Janes himself, and it's Janes with an S, no apostrophe. That took me a while to learn. Um, and then the Farnsworth after Farnsworth Park. So location and history.
And ours were primarily named after trees.
That's
What is your favorite? Which of the designs
Can you
is your
choose a favorite of all those?
I've actually never been asked that before. I think the Lewis being the first one that we designed, that was just me in February working with Habitat for Humanity of like, hey, we want to do 3 designs. The Lewis, the Palm, the Mariposa are the same exact floor plan, and those are the 3 designs that Habitat for Humanity is building for 25 families and is looking to expand that to as many families as they can help. Um, and so the Lewis was just me at my kitchen table with a pencil and like a makeshift straight edge and trying to recreate the Halpin House or the house on Lewis Avenue. Um, and now to see how that's taken off, and we have over 40 homeowners who are looking to build the Lewis, which I'm like, okay, there's other designs too, but um,
That one's
it's
like your heart on the
yeah, yeah, it's really special for me. It's special for the Halpins, the family that are close friends. And I think that's sort of the roots of where the Foothill Catalog started is just local people, local architects trying to make a difference, even if it is just with a pencil and paper at their kitchen table.
Yeah. And one commonality we actually have is that also our master floor plan library partners with Habitat for Humanity. And this is a great example of how other nonprofits can support and help one another. But Chris, I want to hear what your favorite is.
Um, I'm gonna have to go with what the community's favorite is, and it's the cob. So, one of the things that we've done is we've allowed anybody to come back and build a Jane's, so you didn't have to have a Jane's before. And what we found is there are a lot of people that love the Jane's and had tried to buy one and didn't go through, and they really wanted one. So there are people that had other styles that are coming back and wanting to build a Jane's cottage and the cob is probably the most popular. There's a certain charm about it with its kind of swooped roof over the entry and the unique windows. So that's one of my favorites from the exterior, but from like a functionality standpoint, I think the Butler is a really great house. So it's hard to pick a favorite, but they were all amazing homes.
What I found is the people with the Spanish homes are very protective of their Spanish homes. They're like, I could not imagine having a craftsman home. It's like, I'm building a Spanish home. Whereas everyone else is like looking at this as an opportunity to build back what they had, but also something totally different, something totally new. So it's a great opportunity to give back that dignity of choice to people, even if they can't afford or really don't want to go through the custom build process.
And so for anyone that may, be considering this as something, for their community, we have 2 minutes left. Give me 60 seconds of what advice you would give.
Yeah, I think what we've been starting with is just really kind of know what you had and what you have now and what you're looking for in your vision for the future. Um, I think everyone goes through a different process of dealing with trauma, and in this most traumatic event of everyone's lives, people are asked to be insurance experts, legal experts, building experts, and they shouldn't have to be. So what we're trying to do is make that process as simple as possible, and give people a head start through the process by bringing them as close as possible to getting shovels in the ground with a quality product, with a quality home. And a home is an emotional um, thing to create. It's not just an asset, but it's a place you build your life, and it's not just 4 walls and a roof, but it's where your family makes its most memories, and their generations after you will spend your time. So I think having that heart and having this organization that we've created that is channeling the spirit of the community, the spirit of the people, and the spirit of the place, that's really important to build back into this community as a whole.
Um, I think in these closing seconds, I just want to say that working with people recovering and building back, I think there's this moment where you start to work with them and show them their design, and they're like, "That's it," and they stop looking towards the past and start looking towards the future. And it's not easy with a lot of the clients because everyone's going through their own trauma and their own grief. And some people like this beautiful bungalow up here that's called a poppy, and we only speak in pirate talk with the clients. Like they brought in the balloons to pay us at the beginning. So we developed these relationships that are very close with all of our clients, and it's something that I will remember for the rest of my life. And I try to treat that with a lot of care when I'm working with people, and try to meet them where they are and see what they need at that moment and get them to the next step, and hopefully everyone will come away and they'll get to that moment where they're looking forward and no longer staying in the past.
Yeah, it's hope. You can do it, and we're here to help.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, you guys.